or call for advice, things of that nature. Now, being front and center about it is not something that's really my cup of tea. I'd rather be behind the scenes and, focusing on the content that I'm creating because that's where my passion truly lies. But the Buzz family knows I'm always one phone call away.
So after the Lakers' worst loss in franchise history on Sunday, The Lake Show, they're looking for answers, and Kobe Bean says he's around if they want his input on fixing the struggling young team. Well, Luke Walton was asked about Kobe and said this: "It depends on what capacity he will come in and help. After losing by 40, he's not the first guy I'm calling. Kobe's more about tough love." The Lakers are tied for the second worst record in the NBA. Stephen A., should the Lakers want Kobe's help?
No, they should not. And that was, I didn't see it mentioned, that was Max, me interviewing Kobe on my radio show this past Friday. Let me say this to you. You don't need Kobe's help right now because Luke Walton is absolutely right. Kobe going to walk up in there, and if guys stink, he's going to tell them they stink. He's going to hold them accountable. He's going to ask them whether or not they're putting in the work. He's going to question their level of dedication because he's been around enough of them to know what their habits are and where their commitment to excellence actually lies. And not only that, even to the most dedicated, most would pale in comparison to Kobe anyway. Kobe's the kind of person that would win a championship, play into May and June regularly, Max, and then literally even after winning the championship, take about 2 weeks off. And then he's up again at 5:30, preparing himself for the upcoming season. That's how he operates. You got guys that are done in April, once the regular season is over, and don't really put in any work until August. Kobe Bryant takes about a week or two off, and religiously for 20 years, he was right back at it. Just that focused, that dedicated. That's what he is. That's what most dudes are not. And so when you look at the Lakers, bereft of extreme talent, no doubt, but also because of Jim Buss, they're in an abyss that's difficult to lift themselves out of. You need star caliber talent. You need a box office attraction. You need all of those things, but you also need somebody to remind you of the culture that existed, that's in the locker room, not somebody who's just coming to visit. Luke Walton recognizes that because he's been there before. He's won a championship team. He knows what it takes. And so he's wise in taking the stance that he's taken, knowing that Kobe is not the guy to call after you lose. You suffer the worst loss in franchise history.
Yeah,
He's wise enough to know that.
Kobe, maybe if you're on the precipice of something, but a certain key player needs to toughen up, you bring him in then. But Kobe will otherwise demoralize the team because he's doctrinaire about his beliefs, meaning doctrinaire, he has a philosophy and he thinks it applies all the time, no matter what. And Luke Walton's really off the Steve Kerr coaching tree as much as anything else. I mean, that's where he came directly from, even though obviously Phil Jackson and others. But Steve Kerr's point of view is, let's see what I have here. Let me take from my various experiences and adapt and apply it and see what works. And that's the approach I think Luke Walton has to take at this stage of these baby Lakers development. Kobe Bryant will rigidly, I think, apply his tough love that Luke Walton mentioned. And this team is just not ready for that. Like, even if Kobe believes, look, this is the right way to do it, damn it, and maybe he's even right, and it'll weed out the weaklings, maybe, but you might be left with no team. And at this point, these young guys need encouragement, need more kind of positive reinforcement. They're so far away from where they need to be than the kind of negative weeding out of the weaklings, I think. Though I wouldn't rule out bringing Kobe in at some point in the future if you notice a key guy here or there needs a kick in the pants.
Well, he says that he's willing to do that. He says that he's willing, he'll do whatever Luke Walton or anybody asks him to do. He prefers to be the behind the scenes. He's happy in retirement. He's got several ventures, including one in concert, ABC and ESPN. He's very happy with that, but he'll always be a Laker. He'll always help in any way that he can. But I think that while we're sitting here talking about this, we've talked, and you know how much I lament the leadership of Jim Buss. At some point in time, we have